Hey guys, Jim from Team Two Legit Crit, and I'm coming at you today with a quick update to my Fortuna deck that I showed off quite a while ago. I think it was the Set 10 pre-release, I want to say. Right after that, like a week after that, I finished the deck. But now with the release of the trial deck and the fourth crit, as well as the newest promo pack which had Metis in it, the deck has gotten a lot better, and I wanted to get this out before Minerva came out. And this is kind of a nice, cheaper alternative to Minerva if you like Genesis and you don't want to spend the $40 to $50, which Minerva is going to be at sneak peek. I highly recommend this deck. It's been running really well. I've ran it we didn't have a locals last week because of 4th of July, but we did a little mini tournament for fun, and it ran pretty well. I went 2-1, but let's get into the deck profile. Alright, first off, obviously, for Fortuna, your boss monster, if you guys didn't know her skill, it's you can Soul Blast 3, and if you don't hit a trigger on your drive check, you can then Soul Blast 3, put the drive trigger that you checked in the drop zone, and have an additional drive check. So it's really nice if they 2 to pass, if they don't have a perfect guard, you can possibly end the game on turn while they're at 3 damage on turn like 4 or 5, which is really nice. And then to get the cards you need in Soul, I then run 3 Metis. I've only been able to pick up 3 so far. I still need 1 more. It's really nice. It's the promo that came in the newest promo pack. It's when you break ride, you can counterblast 1, draw a card, and then Soul Charge 3. So that's already 1 Fortuna's skill right there. And then, since I don't have the 4th, I'm running a Angelica right now, which isn't bad. Her skill is you can Soul Blast 3 to draw 2 cards, and it adds draw power, but I would be running the 4th Metis if you have it, because it kind of ruins the purpose of having the cards in Soul for that final push for Fortuna. So that's it for grade 3s. And then grade 2s, I of course run 4 Melissa, one of the best cards in this deck. It's how you get indirect pluses. When you use Fortuna's skill to add +5, or her skill to do an additional drive check, you can use her skill, which is when she's Soul Blasted, you can counterblast 1 to call her to a rearguard circle. And it doesn't have to be open, which is very important because you can just call her, you can get an extra attack by calling her and the grade 1 Witch of Frogs to have a free new column and get an extra attack, which is really nice. And then I run 4 Sabahime, whose skill is when her attack hits the Vanguard, you can counterblast 1 to Soul Charge 3. And this is really important because it's basically just another free Fortuna. And then for my last choice, a lot of people are running the 10k vanilla, which I don't like as much because you already have the extra defense power because you're not running draw, so you have that extra 5k shield. And this also adds a lot of pressure because it forces your opponent to guard unless they want you to draw a card, which normally they don't. And with her and Sabahime, they get to choose would they rather have you Soul Charge and do another Fortuna, or would they rather let you draw a card. And a lot of my opponents would rather let me draw a card because they don't want to fear the Fortuna being able to potentially on a 2 to pass have 4 to 5 drive checks. And she's really good. Her skill is counterblast 2 to draw a card. So it's just an extra pressure card, and the 10k doesn't really make a difference offensively because all I run is 7k boosters. So the 10k vanilla would just be for defense purposes, and I feel like I already have enough defense already. And then for grade 1s, I'm running 4 Witch of Frogs Melissa. Her skill is the same as the grade 2 Witch of Ravens. When she's Soul Blasted, you can counterblast 1 and call her to rearguard circle. So like I said, you can get that extra attack, or just it's a nice card to have because it's indirect pulsing. And then 3 perfect guards. I would have 4, but I've had 3 since the sneak and completely forgot that I only had 3. So I went to go pick one up the other day when I was rebuilding the deck and realized I only had 3, and now it's almost $20 thanks to Minerva. But I mean, the deck still works fine with 3 because you can just use an extra Fortuna to discard a grade 3 draft check to get an extra trigger to guard with, or even the perfect guard sometimes. And then I run 4 Cumin, Her skill is when she's called to rearguard, you can soul charge one. I like her over, I believe it's Existence Angel, the promo that came as a rare in the trial deck that you can soul charge one when she boosts and the attack hits a Vanguard. Because this is a definite soul charge, and Existence Angel, a lot of times, late game it's dead because they're not going to let your attacks hit Vanguard, obviously. And early game they might not even want to let it hit. So this is a for sure direct soul charge one, which is nice. And then I run 3 Tatsuna Hime. Her skill is when she boosts and the attack hits a Vanguard, you can counterblast 2 to soul charge 3. So that's another Fortuna right there, and it adds a lot of pressure because it's almost the exact same skill as Sabahime, except you have to counterblast 2. So it's really nice, and it adds pressure, which I tried to focus my build more on pressure than attack power and such. So and that's it for the grade 1s. And then for the triggers, obviously 4 heal, 4 of the newest crit that came on the trial deck, which made this deck so much better because getting that additional pressure and being able to kill them while they're at 3 damage, or even being able to put them to 5 damage when they're only at 2, is just very nice. And then obviously, yeah, like I said, 12 crits. And this crate you can put in Soul to add 3k. So say you have 2 cards in Soul, you can put it in Soul and add power to your grade 3 and your 7k or your 7k booster, and you're hitting 21, plus you get that 3rd card in Soul that you can Soul Blast to use Fortuna's skill to get the witches out of the Soul or to have that pressure. Overall, I really like the deck, and I wouldn't say it's competitive as Minerva, but it's still competitive in its own right. So if you're looking for a budget build, I'd try it out. It's very fun. It's very luck reliant, but at the same time, your opponent a lot of time will waste perfect guards on it, or even none to pass because they don't want to give you that 2 to pass because you could just use Fortuna's skill to hit the second one. So it's not as skill based as other decks, but it's still really fun. So I'd give it a chance and check it out. Well, thanks guys for watching. That's the deck profile, and remember to like, comment, subscribe.